Hey y'all, it is Khadijah and I am back. I'm gonna give you some time to come on in the room, call your family, call your friends, call your mama, call your daddy, call your goosey granny. I don't care who you call, but make sure you tune in tonight. I have some very important information to share, some very important helpful tips as we are in the middle of 2021. We're coming to the close, hopefully, of our pandemic, staying in the house and the struggles that we're having in that. I want you guys to hear a couple of things out as we're getting ready for our summer and our we can't have our hot girl summer without making sure that our mind is in check, right? Y'all got y'all waist snatch. Y'all done got all y'all waxing done. Now it's time to snatch our mental. Okay, so come on in. I'm gonna give y'all a few minutes to get on this show. All right, because we're gonna talk about it. We're going to talk about it. Now, there ain't a whole bunch of things that I like to talk about. I mean, I think I'm a pretty public person overall, for the most part, but today I'm going to be exceptionally vulnerable, exceptionally transparent. So we're going to talk about it today. This month is the month of May, which is Mental Health Awareness Month. Mental Health Awareness Month. I mean, it's a lot of things this month, but it's also Mental Health Awareness Month. So we're going to talk about it, y'all. I didn't put my eyebrows on for this one, okay? Put my eyebrows on, then painted some of my edges on. You know what I'm saying? I'm here for it. Like I'm a little Beyonce, put my little light skin braids in my head, okay? So we're about to go in and talk about it, all right? So you can see from the description, or you can see from the lower third, that we're going to talk about mental health awareness today. And a lot of us assume that we are mentally in check, especially Black women. Can I say that? Especially Black women who have been the backbone of our culture, backbone of our family, the backbone of society overall. We pretty much hold it down, and a lot of things happen to us. A lot of things get dumped on us. A lot of things get dumped in our lap. And so as women, we are already made to be incubators, right? We receive a seed and we grow it and we give it back bigger and different than what we received it. And so that's true with good things as well as bad things. And so it's very important that we are aware of our mental space, our mental stability. And I just want to come to you today to tell you that it's okay to foster a safe place for yourself. It is okay to give yourself a day or two or week away for self-care. It is okay to love yourself enough to know your limitations. And I myself have struggled with that. Even though no is that's not one of my favorite words to say. I'm like, I'm not going to do it. I cannot do it. I don't want to do it. So I have made no one of my best words in my vocabulary. However, some of the things you just can't say no to, right? Some of the things you just cannot say no to life. And so we're going to go ahead and talk about it again. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you all. Make sure that you share, like, and subscribe, and all those other good things that come along with having a podcast or a YouTube show, a webisode, as you guys support me and our shows, KDGRIER, and the things that we do here. What we have to say can and will grow. And as long as you tune in and comment, your what you have to say and share will also be valid. Let's go ahead and get into it. All right, guys, first thing I want to talk about is breaking the stigma. Breaking the stigma, right? As Black people, Black women, Black men, we don't like to reach out for help because we seem weak. We don't like to seem like we don't have it all together. There's so many things that's put in our lap every day that we already have to address, even whether we want to address it or not. But this month, today on this show, we're going to break the stigma. Hashtag break the stigma. We're going to talk about mental health. We are not okay. To be Black in America is to be angry, is to be upset, is to do twice as much work, is to work twice as hard, is to look twice as sharp, is to be twice as clean. It is to be twice as polite, twice as kind. To be a Black person in America, or you will be labeled a stereotypical label that we have to combat and fight anyway. And a lot of us think that just doing that we will overall save the race. We're a credit to our race. We're going to be the good one. Not that we're looking at it as that, but we're going to portray that face. When we show up, our whole entire culture shows up with us. And that's just the truth of it. Likewise, when we see our culture reflected back to us in a negative way, we ingest that. So some of the things that I've been dealing with here lately as a news junkie, as a political junkie, as a blackity black for my people junkie, what I found is that the things that are being inundated on the interwebs and the news and things like that are negative, that happen every day to Black people: police brutality, murders in the Black community, rape in the Black community, unemployment. We're always bottom on unemployment. I don't care who has a job. Black people have them last. Everything that's bad, we top that list, and everything that's good, we're on the bottom of that list. And so just here lately, I've been feeling overwhelmed. I've been feeling really heavy in absorbing that information. So it's not like something that I've never known. It's not like information that is new to me, but just with COVID and staying in the house and not being able to get out and not doing the things that I consider to be self-care and taking time away from it, which to me is going on vacations far away. I don't mean day trips. I mean, we taking 2 weeks off and we're going to another country. We're getting out of here, right? For me, I haven't been able to do that. I'm also a foodie. That means I travel for good food, right? So if the food is good, I'm coming to your town. If the food is good, I'm coming to your country. So send me an invite and I'll come through. But I haven't been able to absorb that. And likewise, I cook. So I cook all the foods that I try. I cook, I bake, I cook. I try new things, international foods. I have not even been cooking lately. I've been making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. If you follow me on Facebook, you will know that lately peanut butter and jelly sandwiches has been my nemesis. So, so I've been eating PB&Js lately. I haven't been cooking for my husband. And you guys, like I said, I've been feeling really heavy. I've been feeling sadness. And that's big for me because I don't normally feel my feels. I'm not an emotional person. I may have an emotional feeling, but I move that to a thought that's moved to an action that becomes productive. I don't sit and wallow in my feelings. But lately I've been feeling like I cannot shake this sadness. It's overwhelming. I feel a certain type of way. I feel like things are not going to get better. Like I've just been feeling dark, and I'm usually the sunshine in the morning girl. I'm like, hey, it's morning. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. I'm like, the Lord's joy is with us every day. His mercy is new every day. Let's go chase that joy, So that's who I am. So for me to consider myself a strong one, that my friends gather around me, my family, they come to me with their issues and for wise counsel, and I can give that, having a shared experience with them. But lately, I'm like, don't answer that phone because that person needs help. Don't answer that text. Don't answer that Facebook because that person needs help. So I don't know if I'm speaking to anybody out there. If I am, make sure that you chime in. Make sure that you tune in because I cannot be the only person going through something like this. And so, just coming from strong people, strong family, I didn't know what to do because I'm like, okay, I need to be able to fix this in myself, right? You have all the tools, Black girl. Where's your Black girl magic, right? Where's your grand rising queen? Where's all that stuff that's in you that everybody sucks out of you, that taps into you and sucks you dry of? Where is that stuff for yourself? And I was reaching and I was grasping for it and I could not find it. I could not find it. And so I said I need help. So about 2 weeks ago, I told my husband, I'm just like, I just feel sad. And so me being a woman, I also still am of years where I have my cycle. It's not beneficial to me because I'm having no more children. It's just a nuisance at this point. But I thought I should share that since this is TMI Fridays. It's TGI Friday. Okay, I thought it was TMI Friday. Anyway, so I'm in tune that sometimes I PMS, right? So what that means for me when I PMS is if I'm feeling great, that feeling is like euphoria, right? But if I'm feeling angry, I'm blacking out, somebody getting cut. If I'm sad, I'm really sad. So I'm aware of that around my menstrual cycle. When I'm not on my menstrual cycle, for me to feel that way is a red flag. Again, I'm normally the happy-go-lucky person. Everything's going to be great. Everything's going to work out for the good. You know, what the devil meant for my bad, the Lord will turn around for my good. Listen, y'all, I'm a Bible-believing, Bible-teaching. I'm a minister. I'm a reverend. I'm a pastor. I'm a counselor. I'm a friend. I'm a sister. I do all of these things. So listen, I know the word, and I do walk by faith, and I speak this word over my life, knowing that I am a child of God and I walk in his favor, right? So I know the word and I know how to have constant conversation with God where I pray with God. But let me tell you one thing, church, no matter what religion you are, you can be burning sage, you can be opening up your Quran and kneeling, you can be like me and be a believer in Jesus Christ. God has created science and medicine and people to help us. He has put counselors and organizations in our way to help us with our daily needs. If we believe that we are here to benefit other people, to be a distribution center, why can't we believe that God made medicine to also help us and be a benefit as well? Are we the only ones that God can use? Of course not. So God uses doctors as well. So the first thing that I did when I was feeling this way is I told somebody, right? I told my husband, I said, I don't feel like myself. I don't feel like leaving the house, right? I found myself on days that I did not have. Now, mind you, we're in quarantine and we haven't been getting out doing much, right? So you think when it's time to do something, I'd be like, oh, let's go. Let's go do this. And I'm just like, no, I'll wait. So what I've been doing is waiting for my one day that I have to go into the office, and then I try to get everything done that day. And I only leave out if I absolutely have to for an appointment. So if my daughter's out or my husband's out, I'm like, hey, can you stop by and do this? Can you do this? So I was not really leaving the house. I wasn't going to any safe engagements, and I just was overall just not in a good place, wanting to fellowship. So I told my husband, and so he was like, okay, well, maybe that's just part of the COVID thing. They're saying that people are down more. And I was like, okay, well, maybe, I'll just, pray my way out of this. I'll get out of this. I already know. So when I told him, and time goes on, life goes on, things happen. I was closer to my cycle then. So I was like, let me just wait. And so then it continues to happen. And mind you, I heard this one psychologist say that it's natural to be sad when your life is not going according to plan, when you don't have a great life, when you're not doing well in life. It's natural to be sad. So depression may be harder to flush out when you just are in a crappy place, right? But for me, I am living my best life. When I tell you that I'm living my best life, I mean that. I have wonderful children. I have a wonderful husband. I have a good job. My stocks are up. My equity in my home is up. We're getting ready to buy another home. Like, I cannot tell you guys I'm looking good. You know what I'm saying? Hello. Hello. I feel good. For the most part, my body, I'm not having any medical issues. So it's harder it's easier to flush out for me that why am I feeling so sad if I am in a happy place, if I'm living my best life, right? So there were a few signs that I looked up online and I wanted to share with you guys who may be going through what I'm going through, right? Your black girl magic is just not working for you. It's working for everybody else, and it's not working for you. Your smile is not as bright as it has been, not for you. People are still enjoying you. People are still think that you're wonderful to have around, but for you, you're just not feeling it. I wanted to give you guys a couple of signs, share with you guys a couple of signs that was shared with me, and some of the things that I also have gone through, and I hope that that's okay with you. All right, so the first thing here is staying inside, just wanting to not go out, right? I talked a little bit about that already, that I just did not feel okay going out of my house. I was like, I'm good. I don't want to be bothered. I don't want to do anything that I don't have to do. And how can I put off what I need to do on someone else, right? And so if you're feeling that way, that could be one of the signs, that could be one of the ways that you yourself are not, doing well in that area, right? So another thing is being anxious, right? The Bible says to be anxious about nothing, but to be prayerful about all things, giving thanksgiving to God with supplication. That means that you're thanking God because you're expecting him to show up. You're expecting him to do something that answers or meets the needs of this. I have been so anxious. Listen, I have a 24-year-old son that just finished college, and he's down south. I mean, south. I mean, Mississippi South. I mean, where they never stop hanging people, right? So having him down in Mississippi was one thing, but then having him down in Mississippi during these times has been even more of a point of anxiety for me, where I'm constantly thinking, is my son okay? I'll text him. I'll even text my daughter. She's about to be 21. And even though she's here in California, you never know. A lot of her friends have been getting shot and just car accidents, like all types of things. Like I'm conjuring up things that could possibly happen to my kid, because it is happening to people's kids every day, and that's what flashes across my news feed. That's what flashes across my screen. Young women getting snatched and sent off for sex trafficking. Like those things are being inundated in my news thread, and so. I feel a certain type of way when my children are not here, when they're not in the house. It's one thing to be black, but it's one thing to be black down south. It's another thing to be black down south during racial strife. It's another thing to be young, but it's another thing to be a young woman. And it's another thing to be a young woman during this high sex trafficking, where they're snatching people off the street and sending them, God knows where to do God knows what. And so my anxiety is higher with that, right? So that's been a trigger for me lately with my children. So that's a given, right? That's kind of to be had. That's normal, right? We care about our kids, so we're concerned about the things that should concern them, right? So I've been having a higher level of anxiety, right? And then also I've been a little more irritable. Now, normally, since I'm always butterflies and sunshine and rainbows, my irritable may just be, some people's normal, but I have been on edge. I'm like, I tell the kid, don't slam my door, stop running out of my house. Y'all know how the old folks used to do, y'all. You either gonna stay in or out. Pick one. What you gonna do? You gonna stay outside and drink from that water hose? Turn off my water. You wasting my hot water. You running that shower too long. Like, it's just so much. And, and my poor husband, y'all. My poor husband, when I tell y'all, this man puts up with me, like I'm literally peering over his shoulders, like, what you doing? Well, you ain't doing that right. You got to fix this. You ain't doing this. You better do that. So I know that I'm driving him crazy because I catch myself in the middle of it. I'm like, never mind, never mind, never mind. Because I'm aware that I'm something ain't right. The other thing that probably my boss, I'm sure this one is the one that my boss probably hates. Sorry, Tracy, but my mind is somewhere else. Like I feel like my mind, like I'm floating in the clouds. Like I can't concentrate. I can't focus on a thing. I feel like as I'm progressing in my day, like I'm in charge. I mean, I'm in charge of some things, y'all. Okay, at work, I'm in charge of the world at work. Okay, so so my job is to lead other people, to help other people do their work as well as do my own work, and so. With my mind not being able to focus, it's hard when people come to me expecting me to know the answers, which I should and I do, but sometimes I can't place it. I can't place my finger right then on the answer. So, just my mind racing, being all over the place is another thing. Here's another one that a lot of us don't think of: hopelessness. Listen, being drugged down by hopelessness. Again, I am a believer, so I do not hope as the world hope. My confidence is in the Lord that He is already coming over. He has already overcome the world, right? And so my hope is in the Lord. However, when I look at the world and the things that are going on in the world, I feel like we going to hell in a handbasket with gasoline draws on. Just the disunity, the strife, the wars, the chaos, the bigotry, the racism, the misogyny, the you name it, any kind of hate that there is happening right now in an abundance. It's being fostered by leaders, and some of the believers, there's something on my eyelid, y'all. I think it's glitter from the strip club last night. Anyway, don't judge me. I got to pay my bill somehow, okay? But it's the our leaders who, even leaders in the church, who are fostering bigoted idolatries and bigoted ideologies, and they're putting it up on a pedestal as if that's what God will want. And this came directly from the Lord, and that's not the Bible that I've read. And so to have that type of strife within the organization or the religion that not only are you a part of, but that you are a leader in, to me, that attacks my hope. I'm not going to say that I'm hopeless, but my hope is continually being attacked because of the friction and the schism that politics has caused within the religion and the belief in certain political factions that that God has nothing to do with. Now, let me just be clear: God ain't got nothing to do with none of these politicians making none of these rules, because the Lord prefers a theocracy. I said it. It's in the Bible. He wants us to follow Him in His law and His ways. All this other stuff we done made up. We want to put a man in charge where God said He wants to be in charge. And He said, if you put that man in charge, you're going to have to give your children, your land, your money, your goods over to them for their own use. And it's absolutely true, which is why y'all don't want to pay taxes, but y'all still want to put man in charge. But I digress. That's neither here nor there. Read your Old Testament. All right. So a little hopelessness, right? So some of us already feel that little bit of hopelessness, but I've been feeling all of that. I've been feeling like I don't want to go outside. I've been feeling super anxious. I've been feeling irritable. My mind has been in the clouds. I have not been able to focus. And I've been feeling that certain level of hopelessness. Here's another one that you may not have thought to think of: risk. Taking risks, right? Taking uncalculated risks that will do you no good, risks that will not give you a good return. Anything that you want or that you invest in, there is a certain level of risk that comes out of it. But a risk that will harm you versus help you, that's another part of recognizing, that's another symptom or a sign of recognizing that you may need some help. Two more, and then I'm going. I won't be with you long. Again, I told y'all I was a reverend, so every now and then that's going to come out. Another thing is excessively using drugs or drinking. I mean, I know some of you guys are social and you party and whatever you do. Some of you may even use some of these things like marijuana as a medicine, and I'm okay with that. I'm not here to judge anybody. But if you find yourself using these things more and more and more, relying on it more and more and more, you may have to seek help. You should speak with someone. You should let it be known that you're increasingly using these items that once was for either a social purpose or a medicinal purpose, and now it's become a crutch. The other thing is, and it's last but it's not least, self harm. Self harm looks many different ways. Lately, I say for the last 10 or 15 years, what's been big in the news and what the young people is cutting, where people are cutting themselves. I saw a show the other day where a young lady would burn her inner thigh with a lighter. There's different ways to cause self harm, and it's usually in places where people don't see, and people are using that as an outlet for their pain, um, causing higher pain to yourself so that the pain that you're feeling internally is not as great as the pain that you feel externally. Also, feeling like they're letting the pain out in cutting and doing things like that. Self harm is very prevalent. So if you're doing any of these things, I implore you to please, 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 please get some help. Now look, I'm going to give you three ways to get help. Okay, my very, very, very first way of getting help is what? By prayer. That's my first way of getting help. That's my first way of anything, of celebrating, of praising, of worshiping. I'm praying. I'm thanking the Lord for what He's doing, and I'm asking for help and increase in areas that I am not proficient in, right? But Second Corinthians reminds me that God's grace is sufficient for me, and that in my weakness, His strength is perfected. What does that mean? That means holding me up. And I know some of you guys who are not religious, have you seen that footprints? That footprints painting or picture or image where there's a person being held by an entity and they're walking along the beach, but you only see one set of footprints. It's because the entity, which is supposed to be God, is holding the person, and they're still walking, they're still getting to their destination, but it's not your footprints. It's the footprints of the Lord. And so that is to me a real thing, of course, and so that's this scripture in illustrated. So I know that God's strength is perfected in my weakness because I can lean on Him and He is all that I need, right? So that's my first point of action. I told you guys that I told someone. I also as the feelings prolonged, as I continue to be sad, and as good things are happening, I continue to feel weighed down and I continue to feel distracted and wanting to stay in the house and not really go out of the house. I called my medical provider. I'm just going to put it out there. I called my medical provider and I said, look, I'm feeling a certain type of way, doc. What should I do? And so the doctor asked me my symptoms and I said, black woman in America. Symptom number one. She said, okay, I'm going to give you Prozac, Zoloft, Tylenol, all the stuff, right? Um, being a black woman in America is hard, man. Shoot, she was ready to give me everything. And she was like, a week vacation. We're going to give you a week vacation. Do you need medical leave from work? So I went to my doctor. My doctor was like, okay, we're going to get you some help. So of course they recommend counseling. That's one of the things. Also, there was a medical component. They were like, we're going to get you some medicine. And I was like, is this going to be happy pills? Because my friend has happy pills. And are you going to give me the happy pills? And they didn't give me the happy pills. So it's okay. It's okay. They're still giving me help. So I was like, one of my other friends had that weight loss pill. You want to give me the weight loss pill? Because I got a couple extra pounds that, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get Meg the Stallion for Hot Girl Summer. You know what I'm saying? Can I get the pills that take a little bit of weight off? And she was like, no, we're not going to give you that either. And I was like, okay, well, just give me the ones that's going to help me in my situation. And so finally picked them up today. I haven't started using them. She says it's a slow release, so I got to keep an eye on myself. My husband's keeping an eye on me. Now all of you can keep an eye on me as well, and hold me accountable to be in the right place. She did. One of the questions that kept coming up over and over again was about suicide ideation, and so even though that's not something that I struggle with, that I don't want to self harm or kill myself. Another thing she said they were talking about was homicide, suicide and homicide. Do you feel like you want to cause harm to yourself or someone else? And I'm like, I definitely don't want to cause harm to myself, and I don't want to cause harm to anyone else at this moment. I'm a thug. So, every now and then things come up and I'm like, that person right there, I need to slap the sugar honey iced tea out of them. But it wasn't on the time that I called my doctor, so I wasn't able to let them know of that. So, but there are people who struggle with that, and so there's help for that, right? So the National Suicide Prevention Hotline phone number is 1-800-273-TALK. That's 1-800-273-8255. If you or someone that you know has been struggling with thoughts of suicide, and it may not even be, I'm going to go buy that gun or I'm going to go take all these pills. It could be as simple as life would be, I think everybody else would be better off without me here. A statement as small as that is suicide ideation. To think that life would be better without you is not a good thing. And I'm going to tell anybody who's out there struggling with suicidal thoughts, life would not be better without you. You are specifically made to make life better for yourself and for other people. And I know that you may not be able to muster the strength right now. I know that you may not feel that right now. You may not feel appreciated. You may not feel loved. You may not feel desired, but you are. Not only are you that, you're absolutely necessary. You're necessary to yourself and to those who are around you. And if you were not here, you will be missed by someone. And it could be that someone who has never met you misses you because you would have had an opportunity to impact their lives in a better way if you were to stick around. So I tell you to stick around. It doesn't rain always. Life is not hard or difficult always, and pain does not last always. And so stick around. It does get greater later. So for all of those of you who are having a suicidal thought, please reach out to someone. You are not alone. You're not an anomaly. And we all need help at some time. Also, where I got those wonderful gifts from, or GIFs, however you say it. I don't know. I say gift because it starts with a G, but whatever. If you like those gifts that I were able to show you earlier, to show the symptoms and the signs that someone may be struggling with mental health or depression specifically, I got it from seizetheawkward.org. And if you go to seizetheawkward.org, they have wonderful tools on that website. They have resources for you, no matter what you're struggling with, no matter what you may not want to share. They have a safe place for you to share that at. So for all my brothers and sisters who are struggling, and you feel like you're too strong to struggle, you feel like you're too strong to reach out, inbox me. Leave a comment here if you'd like, and I'll get back to you directly myself, just to be able to hold each other accountable, just to be able to share that the life's struggles, and to encourage each other that we will get on the other side of this thing. This thing has been beat. There are people who have struggled with worse for longer and have come through on the other side of it smelling like roses, and we plan to do the same as well. So I appreciate you all again for watching the show. Make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, and share. I know that this episode was a little heavy, right? Some of us may not want heavy on a weekend, but sometimes we just gotta do heavy. We just gotta put it all out there to get it off of ourselves, right? And also to help one another, because nobody's a monolith, nobody's an island. We're not going through this one singular thing by ourselves, and this one singular thing does not make up who we are. And so this month, in Mental Health Awareness Month, guys, what are we doing? We are breaking the stigma, okay? So we're breaking the stigma. Tell someone that you need help. Let someone tell you that they need help. And we're going to go on this journey of life together. I appreciate you. I am praying for your help, your health. I am praying for your help as well to come with any struggles that you may have or a loved one may have. Reach out. There's groups all over the world, help groups that you can talk to someone who's going through the same thing that you are. All right. Peace out. Love you. I'll see you next week. We're gonna talk about all the gags next week. So this week, because it was so heavy, next week we coming with all the gossip, all the rumors, all the other stuff, that I shouldn't be talking about as a minister, but I'm gonna do it anyway. God bless you.